rifle. A human rights group says the company New Zealand pilot Glenn Conning worked for should have done a better job of protecting him. The 50-year-old was killed by pro-independence rebels after landing in an isolated part of central Papua province. Spokesperson for West Papua Action Aotearoa, Catherine Delahunty, says it was known to be a dangerous area and Glenn Conning's company ought to have warned him.
They would know the area really well, and they should have been protecting their pilots. I mean, he shouldn't have been put at risk.
Catherine Delahunty says the Indonesian military, which controls the airspace, also could have warned Conning about the dangers of the area. An anti-deep-sea mining campaigner in Papua New Guinea says the government is deliberately keeping quiet about seabed exploration. In 2019, Prime Minister Angus Marape called for a moratorium on deep-sea mining. However, Jonathan Masulam, coordinator for the Alliance of Sawara Warriors, says a vessel was conducting seabed exploration in the country earlier this year. Mr. Masulam says he only found this out through a foreign journalist.
Obviously, the government is someone in the system is aware of what's going on, and they are reluctant to tell us because they are aware of the resistance, the campaign, the movement around seabed mining and PNG.
Samoa police say a 12-year-old boy was murdered in his sleep in a possible case of mistaken identity. A 26-year-old man from Salamabalu, Hawaii, was charged on Sunday with allegedly shooting the boy with a .22 rifle. The accused was said to be having an affair with the victim's married sister, and jealousy may have been the motive. The suspect's family performed a traditional apology, or ifonga, outside the victim's house on Saturday. The police launched a gun amnesty on August 1st and are offering a 100 tala food voucher to those who surrender their weapons. A police statement urged citizens to hand in unregistered firearms for the safety and security of the community. Tonga's Prime Minister has dismissed claims that the Foreign Affairs Ministerial Portfolio standoff poses a threat to the upcoming Forum Leaders Summit. Earlier this year, Tonga's King Tupou VI disapproved of the government's appointment of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. As a result, the then minister stepped away from the post in April, and a replacement is yet to be named. For Government Elector, Theosi Sovalene says he is the acting Minister of Foreign Affairs.
When there is a vacant ministerial position, it's normally the Prime Minister will take up that portfolio. I don't think there's a threat. I mean, everything is in line and, progress well, working well with the Secretariat, and I don't foresee any issues.
In a few weeks, Tonga is hosting the Pacific Islands Forum Leaders meeting, in which foreign ministers are usually heavily involved. A New Zealand government lawyer has told a court a settlement agreement between midwives and the Crown did not carry legal obligations to improve pay and contracts. The College of Midwives is leading a class action against the government, arguing it has breached a legally binding settlement agreement from 2018. But Pauline Courtney has told the High Court at Wellington that was a contract to work together towards a further agreement, not a contract containing legally enforceable commitments. She says an agreement on fair pay would be subject to cabinet and budget approvals, and officials never had the ability to commit the Crown to that spend. Trainee nurses in Aotearoa are worried after finding that 1 in 4 recent graduates have not yet landed a job. Hundreds of international nurses are also without work and are warning others to stay away. Jill Bonnet reports.
Health New Zealand says trainees have a reasonable expectation they will get jobs when they graduate, and it's still trying to place 160 of them. Shannon Bristow will graduate at the end of the year and says students are disheartened and worried whether there will be a job for them. A registered nurse from India, Khushbu Sabawal, says not a single one of the 200 nurse cohort who passed their New Zealand nursing assessments found a job. She estimates she spent up to $50,000 for her tests, travel and living costs. The Health Minister, Shane Retty, says as workforce needs change, so will New Zealand's international recruitment requirements.
In world news, the police in Bangladesh are going on strike following attacks by protesters in hundreds of police stations across the country. Confusion prevails in Bangladesh a day after the Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, was forced from power. Parliament has been dissolved, clearing the way for an interim government and new elections. The BBC's Andarasan Itarajan reports.
The situation is still tense. It is better than last night when more than 400 police stations were set alight by protesters and mobs. There are lots of revenge and recrimination killings going on. That has also led to a lot of looting and people attacking each other. But things are settling down because now the efforts are to set up an interim administration because many experts have warned the more you delay, there is a political vacuum. If there is a political vacuum, that leads to anarchy. First step, now they have dissolved Parliament, so that will allow legally to establish the interim government.
In sport, the National Olympic Committee of Solomon Islands says they had followed all procedures in regards to athlete Sharon Ferry-Saur competing at the Paris Olympics. Locals in Honiara had questioned the selection, especially since Ferry-Saur, a natural marathon runner, was entered for the 100 metres sprint. Champion sprinter Jovita Arunia was not considered. Committee President Martin Rara says the decision to select Ferry-Saur was done transparently and her name was the only one entered in the World Athletics database. Australian 14-year-old Arisa True has won the women's park skateboarding gold medal ahead of world number 1 Hiraki Kokana from Japan. In the Olympic football competition, hosts France will play Spain for the gold medal, while Morocco and Egypt will play for bronze. In other sport, the board of Samoan Rugby has sent a letter to World Rugby explaining why it has had to pull out of its Northern Tour later this year. RNZ Pacific's correspondent in Samoa, Otangavaya, says the letter, written by the chair of the board, former Prime Minister Tuilei Faifalele Malealii, points out that Lapaki Samoa doesn't have the money.
Telling the chairman of World Rugby to avoid any embarrassment for a small island nation like Union to go into bankruptcy instead of to cancel the tour because of the financial difficulties they're facing.
And that's the latest news and sport from RNZ Pacific. For more on our stories, head to our website rnz.co.nz/Pacific. 49, Gemma. Where was that? Your world so closer. Checkpoint with me, Lisa Ellis, from 4 till 6 p.m. here on RNZ.
Now the forecast from Met Service to midnight. Northland is mainly fine, apart from isolated showers in the west this morning. Auckland to Manawatu, also Coromandel Peninsula, Bay of Plenty, the central high country, and from Gisborne to Wairanapa. Mainly fine, apart from areas of fog this morning. It's cloudier in Bay of Plenty this afternoon. Isolated showers there.